Proverbs 12, chapter 12, verse 4. An excellent wife is the crown of her husband, but she who causes shame is like rottenness in his bones. God is saying it's a great thing to have the person that God has for you, and you need to be patient and you need to become who He wants you to become spiritually. This goes for all people, because if you are not spiritually intact, spiritually whole, spiritually who God created you to be, you're going to be you're going to be attracting, you're going to be around the wrong spirits thinking that it's for you. But in actuality, it's only counseling to your trauma, to your wounds. You guys have commonality in brokenness, but not commonality in God. And God is wholeness, not brokenness. If it's not the person God has for you, they're going to chew the meat and spit out the bones, because spiritually, you guys aren't the same. Maybe they're attracted to the looks, the fabricated things, the lust which fades, right? The Bible says that love is patient and love never ends, but lust, it has a time limit. When you fulfill the desires of the flesh, or when the makeup's off and the looks fade, or they're just not funny anymore, or when they wake up and their breath is stinking, yeah, then it's different. Understand that there's a time limit when it comes to the person that God doesn't have for you, and that's going to lead to brokenness, despair, unworthiness, and you're just going to be feeling even worse off than you initiated and started with. You need to become spiritually whole. First and foremost, you need to know who you are as a man or as a woman, and then you know what you stand for, you know what you want, and then you just mold it. The scriptures say that God is the potter, we are the clay. One of the best things is to have a spiritual connection and somebody who gives you spiritual direction, things of that nature. Like, it is the spirit first, then the other stuff second. It's not the other stuff first and the spiritual stuff second, because that's why brokenheartedness, despair, destruction, things happen, is because people negate the spirit, they reject the spirit, they don't care about it, right? But they put lust, or they put fornication, or they put hooking up, or they put those kinds of things first. The flesh first, the spirit second. The flesh fades, love never ends, but lust does. Those things fade, and they don't care about your spirit. They don't even want to hear it. And that's why you have to become whole, or else you're going to be, if you have trauma, if you have pain, if you have these things, you're going to be afraid of love. And I know that was how it was for me. I was afraid of a commitment, attachment, connecting myself to anything, because everything I've ever loved just left out of my life, just gonzo. But if I didn't heal, then I would just be afraid of forming a bond, afraid of forming something permanent with anybody. If I didn't go inward and heal, then I would be repeating that cycle. So people need to go inward, and they need to heal, and they need to become whole. And when you become whole, you'll be with somebody else who is whole, and you won't be trauma bonding. You won't be in compatibility with trauma or pain or experiences or whatever, because then you'll just be living in that anchor, right? If you guys have a commonality in trauma and pain, well, you're just feeding that area and making it worse. That's why you need to, isolation, spend some time alone, heal. So you're not trauma bonding, you're healing, and then be with somebody where you're healing. Your experiences, your wisdom, use that to help others to heal. The spiritual is number one, and the other stuff is number two. And when you put the spiritual things first, you'll begin to respect yourself and put up boundaries. That's why your spirit is trashed and you're disrespected, because you're not putting the spiritual first, and neither is the other person. You're putting the flesh, you're putting the looks, you're putting the other things first, and the spirit last, and spiritually you're suffering because of that. It's backwards. You need to put the spirit first, heal the spirit, deliverance, all of those different things, and then you move forward from there. You want to be patient. You don't want to rush any of these things. Stop settling for like little breadcrumbs, whether you're a man or a woman. Like, if you're a woman, like, stop picking up little breadcrumbs of promising men. Oh, he's got muscle, he's got a motorcycle, whoa, he listens to, whoa, like, but spiritually it's like, whoa, look at it, like, no, you got baggage, right? Spiritual first, and when you become spiritually whole, you'll begin to say no and reject things, push things, and you'll know what you want. You have clarity when you are spiritually whole. You know what you do want, what you don't want. Really get the person for you, because you may be attracted to whatever, but that's not for you, and you need to wake up. You You need to come to your senses, right? Okay, just because a person looks good doesn't mean they're for you. Okay, just because a person is spiritually wise doesn't mean they're for you. Okay, it's just not going to work. It's not going to happen. You're living in a daydream from watching, Channing Tatum and all of these things. You automatically think, oh, a man's attractive, got to be. No, it doesn't matter how nice a man is. It doesn't matter how promising. It doesn't matter how spiritually wise. If he's not for you, it's going to break through and you're going to be ditched and left in a ditch, not literally, but like it's going to break off. The person has to be designed for you. It doesn't matter how nice they are. Listen, it doesn't matter how nice I am, how much wisdom I have. If I'm with somebody who's not for me, I'm breaking it off. Just make it known, breaking it off. See ya, bye, or whatever. Or they're going to do the same. It has to be a person who is for you. If you're already in something, God has grace and God has mercy, and he will heal, he will deliver. If you're saved, it says that he will sanctify your husband, your wife, and God has grace, God has mercy, and God will handle the situation. You guys just need to heal together. Trust me, I've seen stranger things come into some greater things, and that's just the truth. That's just what it is, because God has grace and God has mercy, and especially for ignorance, right? Paul was ignorant. He was persecuting Christians, hating Christians, and he said, God, forgive me, I was ignorant. And God said, yeah, I knew you were spiritually blind. That's why I knocked you off a horse and opened up your eyes, and now you can see. And I forgive you. You were ignorant, but now you know. And so now you go.